Yeah, big fight for you Thursday. I whispered that to you when you were over here.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence for the sick, the handicapped, departed, and the military personnel of this community. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mike Palmer.
Here.
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 Schneider. Here. Betty Cochran. Here. Thomas Narvin.
Here.
Dermott. Brett.
Here.
Ward Collins. Chad King.
Here.
Michael Steen.
Here.
Dan Miller.
Before we get to the comments on the floor, we have a special guest. I'd like to welcome our state representative, Jason McKee.
Thank you. I am not Ed McMahon, and I am not here from Publishers Clearinghouse to deliver checks, but I do have checks today. I'm very grateful, thank you, first and foremost, for applying for GEDF this year. I know we've had some luck in the past. We had a year off where GEDF really didn't get processed, but this year it was a little bit late, and I know I was pushing everyone to apply and get out there, and Bridgeville submitted, I think, about $1.4 million worth of projects. I was able to fund one project entirely, which is the Bridgeville Road project for $100,000, and then the second project, which was McLaughlin Run, which I believe was a $500,000 project, was able to fund that at $250,000. So very grateful, very happy. A lot of hard work goes into the grant applications, the entire process, the application on my part. I'm just happy I can help out Bridgeville any chance I get. I do know the applications will be opening again early in the year, hopefully in February. I want to urge you to apply again. I'm hoping that I can help out with another $100,000 to $200,000 to help with the other projects. I know it's not going to solve every problem that Bridgeville has flooding-wise, but every little bit helps. There will be some other grant applications available, and I hope to have that to council by, I'd say, the week after New Year's, if not before. I've been working on a few other things as well, but definitely some other areas where you can apply that will help with the flooding concerns here. I know I was here a couple years ago. I really want to make sure that we did something. So I'm very grateful, again, for the support, for the application, and happy to be providing over $300,000, almost $400,000 today.
I just want to say, Jason, he contacted us monthly, weekly, status updates. This is what we were doing. He was integral in getting this money for us. So I really appreciate everything you did for us.
Absolutely, and hopefully more is on the way. Anyone else? There you go. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate it. No problem. Hey, best of luck. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate it. Thank you all again. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Your visitor, let's grab it around Bob, the floor is all yours. You're the only visitor.
Excuse me. I think I've been talking to, as you have certainly, Mike Conley from the Parking Authority. I mentioned that I'm really concerned about that section of, let me put it like this, yes. That section of Washington Avenue and Station Street where the ARCO building is. The people that bought the ARCO building purchased part of the area you're outlining, where the abandoned railroad spur line was. And this other area, this triangular area here, that's the Greenwood property. I was going to say, this drawing, I showed you this before without the red lines, I think. But this drawing was made by the Bridgeville Parking Authority, not me. But what I wanted to point out, Mike said that he had contacted an engineer. I'm assuming it was was that your firm that was, were you doing some work for the Parking Authority?
Yeah.
Okay.
We had looked at another parking lot, not that one.
Oh, not this one, okay. All right. Well, anyway, what I wanted to point out to you, if you, I mentioned, I talked to Lori briefly about my concern. The people who own the Arco building, I think pay $160,000 or $70,000 just for that strip. And Lori mentioned to me that she didn't think it was going to be for a building. I'm really concerned about the fact that if a building is placed there, that it will wipe out the potential parking needs of the community beyond that. This piece of land, the only vacant piece of land in the central business district. All right. At any rate, I can't remember if I mentioned this to you last month, but I suggested, because there's a similar piece of property that the Parking Authority was having a problem with. That was that vacant lot right across the street from the post office. A doctor bought it. He was going to put a 4-story building in there, requiring 40 parking spaces, which again would have totally overwhelmed the number of spots in those lots. By the way, Mike mentioned this to me the other day, which sort of shocked me. For example, he said in the biggest parking lot in town, which is right next to Labella Bean and that area, and also the other parking lot next to where the old PNC Bank used to be, that I think there's 80 and 30 spaces. Half of them are already occupied by the people that live in the area, which means of the parking spaces that are in our public parking lots, only half of them are available to potential consumers that we want to come here to shop. And I was going to say, I might mention one other thing that's important, Ken, if you ever get a chance to look at this stuff. But in this drawing made by the Parking Authority, was quite good. However, there's an important feature on it that I think should be made. This is the First Commonwealth Bank right here. I think that this alley that goes from the largest shop to the largest parking lot in town should be extended down to this point, because that would mean that, incidentally, Mayview Road, Westland Road, Station Street, the second most important road to the central business district in the community. And if by putting this road, which is dirt road from here to let those people get to our biggest parking lot, they wouldn't have to go up here, hang a left, wait, hang a left again. It would be much more inviting. And if by some miracle the two-way couple is ever built, this would be one way. It would be a direct route to that area. But I just wanted you, what I was going to mention to you, because there's a problem with the vacant lot across from the parking lot, part of the post office in this one, I think I suggested that you guys eliminate that ordinance in the community that says anybody that builds a building in the central business district, and maybe it's any business district, doesn't have to provide parking. I think it's a bad idea. You should make an effort to rescind that law, or that ordinance. Okay. And I'm just going to.
I believe the ordinance say if you're far away from the public parking lot, otherwise, I believe that's what the ordinance reads.
Yeah.
If you're far away, but they're not far away over there, so.
Most people are within 600 feet.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I'm glad you're familiar with it. Yeah, because I think the specification was 600 feet or something, but from this proposed site where someone might put that building is within, right, where they would not have to provide parking because they're close enough to that one, and they're even closer to the one by the old PNC NC Bank, so the regulations still can hurt us seriously. But anyway, I just want to give this to you. You can look. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Bob. All right, on with our regular business. Motion to approve the November 11, 2019 regular meeting and November 19, 2019 budget workshop meeting minutes as submitted.
So,
Bruce
Second.
and Nino. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Motion to approve the December 2019 bill list.
I'll move.
Joe Lucy
Second.
and Joe Cosmo. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Motion to approve the December 13, 20, 27, and 2019. Oh, I'm sorry. Motion to approve the December 13, 20, 27, 2019, and January 3, 2020. What, 2020?
Payroll.
I'm not ready for next year. Payrolls. So moved. Bruce
Second.
and Nino. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Motion to adopt ordinance number 1012, Bridgeville Borough amending ordinance number 1005 pertaining to general rates charged for sewage services given to the customers of the Allegheny County Sanitary Authority within the borough. 2019 rates, Alphasan rate of $7.92 per 1,000 gallons of water used. The borough rate was $6.23 per 1,000 gallons of water used. The Alphasan service charge was $16.69 per quarter. The 2020 rates, Alphasan rate will be $8.50 per 1,000 gallons of water used. The borough rate will be $6.73 per 1,000 gallons of water used, and the Alphasan service charge would be $17.86 per quarter. I believe this reflects a 50 cents per million gallons increase. This ordinance has been duly advertised, and the public hearing was held December 9th, 2019 to receive public comment.
So,
Bill Henderson
second.
and Nino, all those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Motion to adopt ordinance number 1013 of the Bridgeville Borough fixing the tax rate and levying borough taxes for the fiscal year 2020 and reenacting all other revenue acts. No increase in the borough real estate taxes proposed. The ordinance has been duly advertised. I'll move. Joe and Virginia. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Before we get to the next motion, Joe Verducci from our Finance Committee, let's go over our 2020 proposed budget.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to thank Lori and the committee for sitting down and spending a lot of time and talking about a lot of different things on trying to think out of the box, as well as trying to also help the borough in not raising taxes. So we did put together a few slides just to talk about a few things. Obviously, the duties of the borough are to administer and handle the finances, support the police and the fire department, the emergency management, of course, engineering and planning, sanitary sewer, stormwater management upgrades, and the road paving. In addition, we do have the other things like parks and recreation, the public works handling, things around town with the snow plowing and other odds and ends jobs that are very important to the borough. Making sure everything is followed by the code enforcement, support the library and recycling and waste collection. So a lot of different things involved in the borough. Some of the accomplishments that we had this year, completed the plans for the McLaughlin Run Hazard Mitigation Project. The hazard mitigation, as you saw saw we received $425,000 from Representative Ortite and Senator Iavino. In addition, we also earned $100,000 for the Fire Hill storm sewer upgrade, which we really wanted to do. In addition, the offices here needed camera systems and updated computer hardware to make sure we're up in par for security and all of those things that are involved with making sure everything is secure here at the offices. We also did some installation of cameras on Fire Hill Road that was supported by a grant through the DA's office. We also did restroom upgrades, much needed at Chartiers Park and as well as McLaughlin. And we did submit grant applications to FEMA for 7 single homes and 2 apartment buildings through their program that's going to total approximately $987,000. Let's see, we implemented what's the HHW?
Household waste.
Thank you. Household waste, e-waste collection events for the residents here, which saved us a significant amount of money for the borough, but we also wanted to make sure that we had that available for our residents. We completed plans for the Maple Commercial and Warner Avenue retaining wall projects, which will be planned on hopefully starting this year. The MS4 stormwater compliance work is ongoing. How many more years is that, or is that ongoing? That's forever. Yeah. So, the pavement maintenance program, we did Elizabeth Street and a section of Chest Street. We talked before, we also had to delay one section that would be used as soon as the weather turns, so we could stay compliant with the requirements that we have with that. We completed phase 1 and started phase 2 on the backflow preventers. And then we had another adaptive signals project, the Washington Station and the Washington Fire Hill implemented. So as you can see, many things that were done and a lot of planning for this year to be able to do a lot of things in the year coming. As we talked about the Green Light Go program, and the very soon Chartiers Street and Bridge project that's set for 2020, but there were rumors that it might be extended maybe 6 months or something. But that's something that's coming. Of course, with public safety, with the police department, they had over 3,300 calls through November, and the fire department also had almost 1,500 calls. 1,500 hours of training and had over 400 calls through November. So our public safety was definitely very busy this past year. 2018 destructive flooding. You would think that we were done with all of those expenses, yet in 2019 we had another $133,000 that we had to write checks for things that had to do with that destructive flood. So those expenses have gone, and we have some plans with that. Some of the large expenses that we have in 2019 that we'd like to do is the MS4 projects continue on, the sanitary sewer project, the phase 1, I'm sorry, these were for this year, excuse me. The phase 1 backflow preventage. We also had insurance liability coverages of over $100,000. And unfortunately, insurances for that, as well as health insurance and workman's comp went up as well. Flood mitigation, the adaptive lighting project, and the street alley repair. So those were all of our large expenses that we had. That was $928,000. Now, the good part is we were able to keep that as low as we could with the trying to create some reserve to be able to put a large number of multiple projects in place this coming year. So some of those things are the mitigation projects that we have in McLaughlin Park, retaining walls that we talked about earlier, and then the sediment removal. Again, the MS4 stormwater management continues. continues. The widening project, of course, some of the other things we're required to do, the sanitary sewer lining, the hammering, is that word? And repairs. Finish phase 2 of the backflow preventers and start the plan for phase 3. Continue with the maintenance program on the pavement. Phase 2 of the McLaughlin Park upgrades, we have to have that done by the end of this coming year. Again, the Bridgeville Road Stormwater Project that Jason was talking about with that check. And then we also will be knocking down the building that we own that's right next door. We're hoping to have that done by the end of the year. Is that still the case?
By the end, yes.
By the end
this
of the
month,
year.
yes.
So in addition, we'd like to put a parking lot there. And this is something actually I think was brought up last month, but we've been talking about it for 3 or 4 months. It was putting some type of communication or sign up near the borough to have some communication in that way as well. Other expenses that we're anticipating, you know, all of those things that I just mentioned, that's going to cost around $2.7 million. So when we're looking back to some of those things, where are we going to get the money? Looking at revenues from the last, 4 years, we've done very well bringing in the income. One of the comments I was going to make on the treasurer's report is that as of November, we've already collected our taxes to budget, where we expected to be, I think, through the end of the year. Yes, Lori? So anything else that we collect, hopefully it will be more, would help us out in the long run as well. But we're anticipating with some of those different things that we're actually going down in or no, about the same. Or you're planning on being about the same, correct? Yeah. For the budget. Yeah. And then expenditures, we actually went down in expenditures of what we were anticipated, which those monies now, because Lori runs a tight ship here, and we're anticipating approximately $400,000 that we'll have left over from this year to be able to put towards these projects, as well as cover a lot of the money over the last 2 years. How much was the total? Over $600,000? Over $600,000 that we wrote in expenses over the last 18 months that to get things back up and where they need to be. So our general fund balance, which, if I remember our conversations, is kind of one of the lowest points we were last year. Last year was the lowest point ever.
Since I've
that you've
been
been
manager, yes.
So we're starting to get that money, and now it's going to prepare us to be able to do the projects that we want to do. So as you can see, when we're talking the $2.7 million, how are we going to do some of those things? So in the Finance Committee, what we have talked about is we do not want to raise taxes. We don't feel it's necessary. We have discussed a few other alternatives we're considering because interest rates are so low. This borough, and I deal with a lot of municipalities in my professional career, this borough does not have 1 cent of debt. We're considering possibly taking a loan because we don't want to prolong all of these projects for the next 5 years. We'd like to get moving on them and get them addressed and not run into another flood that we've run into of an issue. We'd like to start working on these different things. So we do have a balanced budget of $3.2 million. How does that affect the property owners? We are not changing the millage. So it's just a reminder, there's 2 instances of the tax on the property. There's the building assessment, which is at 6.5 mils, and the land assessment's at 10 mils. So therefore, if your assessment is $100,000 and broken into that illustration there, then your taxes would be calculated in that way. Again, no property tax increase is proposed. Now, what does that mean for residents of Bridgeville? If you own your home and you're able to file the homestead exemption, we will give you a $12,000 credit, which reduces the amount of the building assessment discount, and then this example, on a $100,000 property, as long as you have the homestead exemption, it'll be a $78 credit back towards your taxes on your amount. So if one suggestion, if you are a resident and it is your home, make sure that on the Allegheny County website that you're listed as, that you have the homestead exemption. In addition to the borough, you also get it for the county too. So definitely look back and make sure, just the Allegheny County assessment, and make sure that your property, if you live there, you qualify for the homestead exemption. So in summary, the borough continues to plan for the mitigation projects in 2020 after the floods in 18. Mitigation costs this year, just alone, were $133,000 plus. In 2020, will be earmarked to continue with essential services to the residents while looking to the construction of the mitigation projects in floodplain areas. The projects are going to cost approximately $895,000. The Washington Avenue Bridge widening plan is supposed to be construction in 2020. We're crossing our fingers, but there are rumors that it may get postponed 3 to 6 months. But we also want to move forward with the McLaughlin Park upgrades, as well as the Bower Hill Road sewer project. Cash reserves are, as planned, have experienced an increase of about $350,000 with a modest approach in tightening in 2019, which is why we aren't increasing taxes. The Finance Committee and Lori we're considering proposing that we consider a capital improvement loan of approximately $1.1 million, which was proposed in the budget in order to take advantage of the low interest rates and complete these essential projects instead of taking bits and pieces over the next 3 to 5 years. We'd like to try to do as many as we can ASAP to be able to address some of these issues that just continue to go on and on. Council, any questions?
Good job. Oh, and the administration.
Again, I want to thank Lori. She does all the number crunching. There's no doubt about it. Kind of makes it easy for us at the meeting, and then we have more conversations of what we can do. So I'm excited. This year is going to be great. We're looking forward to it, and hopefully it'll be a way to go.
Yes, Bob.
Yeah, I was going to say, on the McLaughlin flood mitigation thing, what does that include? Are we still going to be able to put up those debris?
That
That's
includes
part
the
of it.
trash.
There's five different areas, I believe.
Yeah.
There's a couple wall issues.
Well, the grant that we got, that we
Right.
received from Representative Ortiz and Senator Iadino will cover the lowering of the ball field.
Yeah.
And the trash rack. And then we're also applying for more monies to do all the retaining walls that we need to do, including one over at Warner Avenue.
Is that, I just remember, I mean, I'm not up to date on it, I remember when Bridgeville tried putting in those vertical columns to
Right.
keep to stop the debris.
We gotta do
and
it.
create the flood. Is that okay now? Or we
Well,
gotta do
the applications are into the DEP for that.
it?
It's a different design. That design was not permitted.
No, that's good, as long as we eventually get it, because the debris is an important part of protecting the summers. From the water.
With that said, there's a motion to adopt resolution number 2019-15 for Bridgeville Borough, approving the budget for fiscal year 2020 and adopting the same. Budget workshop meeting was held on November 19, 2019, with the proposed budget available for public review beginning November 25th, 2019, meeting the 10-day requirement per borough code.
Second.
And Nino. All those in favor?
Okay.
All those
Like,
opposed?
my
Oh,
question, does this include the loan for $1.1 million? Is that what we're? is
Well,
that
no,
part
we're
of
not,
this?
no.
Okay, this is just the budget. Okay, thank you. I'll say aye.
all those opposed? Motion carries. Motion to adopt resolution number 2019-16 of the Bridgeville Borough to ratify action taken authorizing and directing the council president to sign an agreement
agreement on its behalf with PennDOT for abbreviated corporate utility work, and the borough manager to authorize and direct to assist the same. This is for storm sewer utility work pertaining to the state Route 50 and Chartier Street widening project.
So moved.
Joe Fosco
Second.
and Nino, all those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Motion to adopt resolution number 2019-17, requesting a grant through the Pennsylvania Small Water and Sewer Program in the amount of $425,000 from the Commonwealth Financing Authority to be used for the Bridgeville Borough Pollutant Reduction Plan implementation, and designating Michael Palmer, Borough Council President, and Lori Collins, Borough Manager, as the officials to execute all documents and agreements between the Borough of Bridgeville and the Commonwealth Financing Authority to facilitate and assist in obtaining the requested grant. Bruce?
So, second.
And Nino, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. A motion to exonerate the Bridgeville Borough Real Estate Tax Collector, Anne Marie Parisi, for uncollected real estate taxes for the calendar year 2016. The uncollected total is $12,164.70. I'll move Joe Lucy and Virginia Schneider. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. A motion to advertise and approve the meeting dates for calendar year 2020. Bridgeville Borough Council agenda meetings will be held at 6:30 p.m. Council meetings will begin at 7 p.m. and will be held the second Monday of each month except January, when it will be held January 6, 2020. The budget workshop will be held Tuesday, November 17, 2020 at 6 p.m. Bridgeville Parking Authority will meet the third Monday of each month at 7:30 p.m. Planning Commission will meet the last Monday of each month at 7:30 p.m. during the months of January through April and June through October. The May meeting will be held Wednesday, May 19, 2020. The November and December meetings will be combined and held December 7, 2020. Zoning hearing will be scheduled as needed. Bruce? Anderson, all those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Motion to accept and pay any commissions due the November 2019 real estate tax collector report.
So moved.
Oh, good time. Nino, second Bruce. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Motion to accept the October 2019 treasurer's report.
I'll move.
Joe Lucy and Bruce, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Motion to accept the November 2019 police report.
So moved.
Bill Henderson and Virginia Schneider, all those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. And a motion to accept the December 2019 zoning report.
So moved.
Bill Henderson
Second.
and Joe Cosmo, all those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Committee reports. Bruce?
Only thing I have is thank Story for all the work she's been doing in that, and glad she's starting to be back on the net, back with us. Wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Finance. Joe Lucy?
I think I said enough, but I was excited to see that the outstanding real estate taxes that we had due, over half of it came in November. So excited to see those numbers, and just a reminder for those that pay on a quarterly basis that you have at the end of the month prior to penalties.
Okay. Parks and Recreation, Joe Cosmo.
Nothing on parks, Mr. President, but on the COG note, the COG meeting this month is being held in Bridgeville, at the Fire Hall, December 19th. Council staff are all invited there. North, they have a grab bag gift if you want to participate. It's $25 limit. If you bring one, you take one. Don't worry about it. But if anybody's interested, you're more than welcome. That's That's all I have.
Thanks, Joe. Public Works, Nino.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, if it snowed, we're ready.
There you go.
But I think you're welcome. But anyway, the leaf, it's continued to be picked up. So quite a
When's that time, by the way?
the time.
You know, when do they stop doing the work?
Well, there's been many
I
leaves
just
that are
right,
big,
I just
I
wanted to
think.
know personally.
Hard to handle.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
We don't have to actually stop that if we see that it's more, I'll just call the people to pick it up. Clean up litters, empty, fresh runs on, clean bridges, clip branches, cut tree parks, winterize park, Joe, they're closed, right? Remove military banners, decorate content for the holidays. By the way, it'd be some repair, vehicle repair, quite a bit of that. The park, it looks beautiful. It's a good job. Public Works did a hell of a good job, as usually. Yes, it looks beautiful. And other than that, Mr. Chairman,
Thank you, Nino.
Sort of an addendum there. Cook School is open. People want to go walk around Cook School. And also Triangle is always open. McLaughlin and Chartiers pretty much.
Although I did see the Chartiers Valley boys basketball team had their pictures taken at McLaughlin.
Really?
Yeah. They snuck in, did a photo shoot. All right, public safety, Bill Henderson.
And Mike, I got nothing to add for public safety, but if you don't mind, while I have the floor. I'd like to thank Mike for his contributions to our community and his commitment to making Bridgeville a better place to live and visit. You've left this council better than what it was when you got here.
thank you.
I'm not gonna, I define my spot. And that's a tribute, Mike, to your energy and your dedication. I know you more than most out there, and I know you care deeply about Bridgeville. I urge you to find your place to continue helping us improve our town. You have much to offer, and we're a better place with you involved. So thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Madam Mayor.
I attended the ribbon cutting ceremony at Chartiers Valley High School. It was very interesting. The principal took us on a tour, some of us on a tour of the building. The chemistry labs were of the most interest to us. It's turned out to be a really big campus now. You should visit if you have the opportunity. Also, our borough tree this year is representative at the library's Festival of Trees with pictures of various businesses and homes throughout the borough. So please stop at the library to see that. And I pray that all of you will have a blessed holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and God bless us all.
Thank you very much, Benny. Police Chief Chad.
Thanks, Council President. I just want to start off by saying I concur with Councilman Henderson's rendition of what he just gave and agree with him 100%. It's been a pleasure working with you over the years. We have some community projects coming up starting this Friday. I'll be participating for the second year in a row with the Shop with the Cop program and the local Walmart with the surrounding departments, Collier Township and Scott Township, where we would take children with special needs through the store and pick out gifts for them with members of the Chartiers Valley School District. Also, once again, we have the Buddy the Elf adventure scheduled for this year.
What is that?
The Buddy the Elf adventure will be on Sunday, December 22nd, probably around 11 o'clock.
Yeah, the watch for him.
Depending when he gets here from
Yes.
North Pole. I don't know what kind of entrance he's going to make this year. It's hard to tell. So, following whatever Buddy gets into, we'll be meeting once again at the Dairy Lake parking lot with the fire department, and we should have several gifts that we're able to pass out to any child that shows up. So spread the word. We like to put it out there. You don't have to be from Bridgeville. They can come from anywhere. We have generous toy donations coming once again from the Pittsburgh area Toys for Tykes and from the Western Pennsylvania store program. So along with that, probably next week, one day, I'll take some time and actually deliver toys to the kids in the local daycare once again also. So that's all I have.
Before we go to solicitor, just want to congratulate Chad for being engaged, talking the questions. Congratulations. It sounds like it's going to be a big event.
Rumor has it.
Rumor has it. All right, solicitor?
Thank you. You have my written report. I'd like to join Bruce and Mayor Copeland in wishing everybody the best wishes for the Christmas season, holiday season. I'd like to join Mr. Henderson and the chiefs settling. It's a great privilege and honor to serve you and serve this borough. Thank you.
Tom, I had one question, or
Yes.
actually two.
Sure.
Can I, you had, last month, we had asked you to provide a formal opinion on that issue, What's the time frame on?
Thank you. I'm working on it right now.
Okay. Is that next month?
Yeah,
And then, just as a request on your report, would you be able to provide that to us 3 days prior so we can review it ahead of time?
Sure. Thank you.
Borough engineer?
Yes.
Okay.
Just update on a few of the projects, since there are quite a few pending. You have submitted for quite a few grants, and obviously we've received confirmation on two of them. 2020 road program, we plan on meeting with the street committee January, February, whatever works for me, and get that out to bid for March, probably late March, take action on it at your April meeting. 2019 roads, that project was delayed due to weather. The contractor wanted to move in about the 7th or 8th. That's when the weather turned bad. We talked to liquid fuels, and they really had to have days that were above 40 degrees consistently. That was too big a risk since that was a fuels funded project. So we did recommend that we could delay it until next year. So we'll complete that next year. 2015 roads, there was a complaint out there. Tom did notify the bonding company. We have received a response from PA Robinson, and we're going to schedule a meeting with them. I don't think they're going to do any of the repairs, but we're going to go through the motions at least to see if we can get them to at least patch them. They have some pretty good documentation they provided on the work that was completed, that they met the specifications. So we'll run through that process with them. Right now I don't have it on a high percentage that we'd be successful in getting that work fixed. If not, then as part of our 2020 program, we'll talk about how to do some repairs to that area. So, next is the public works projects. The ones that were on the grant funding was Janet Way, the commercial street culvert cleaning, channel cleaning, lowering of the ball field, and the trash rack. Janet Way ramp, the permit has been issued on that under the revised plans. The culvert cleaning, we're going to be addressing DEP on that. They've had questions throughout, and we do believe that permit's going to be able to be issued. Maple Street Ball permit has been issued. We're meeting with Gateway next week on the 19th. We're going to review the trash rack and McLaughlin run, and then we're going to be the ones to address those comments moving forward. We did receive the Army Corps model about 2 months ago. We do have that in the system now. We have updated it with all these projects, including the flood mitigation and the trash rack. We'll have a work session at some point with the group to run through what that model shows and what each one of these improvements do or don't do. We also are looking at the wall on beside the borough building that runs from the ice cream shop down. We're actually picking up some more surveys because after we picked up the first piece, it looks like the wall should be extended all the way down and actually tie into the railroad embankment. It's not very high. It'll be surprising when you look at the model that it's going to be 4 foot maybe. And it looks like we should do some stream improvements to give more volume because what happens is from the channel, water backs up. Of course, I think everybody here probably sees that. So we need to make sure what that elevation part of the long-term solution may be some pumps on the bottom part of town that we'd actually lift the water in over top of. It's considered to be a levee at that point. And from the low area in town, we pump the water out from the borough building area and pump it up over. You have to have redundant pumps. There's a system, there's screw pumps, they move a lot of volume of water quickly. But it's something that there is projects once you have the levee design. The CFA program that we just submitted for, they have a flood mitigation one for levees. You have to have the study done first, prove that it will work, and then you can submit for actual long-term grant funding for that project. But just looking at the early findings, it is a project that you can be successful in limiting the amount of flooding you ever see on the bottom part of town once you build the levee. But you have to put the pumps in, because once you build the levee, the water can't get out, you gotta lift it.
Where's it go?
Yeah, thank you.
Because the stream is now, the stream is basically water
Okay.
as it goes through town.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
The court office has a similar system. Court office has a levee on the bottom side of town, was built in the '70s, and there's screw pumps that lifts the water from the storm system up and over and into the river. If not, the bottom part of town will flood for the last 30 years. And that has been successful. So that one segment, I think is what we're looking at. The upper parts of town, we're just now starting to look at some different solutions through there, including the properties that is on the $975,000. What we can do in those properties to help the situation through that part. It's very constricted through there, you know, it's very narrow. So we have to look at how to make that better than it is today. We also have an option that we're looking at, taking a pipe cleaning the channel from the park. Okay. Going underneath all the homes with one
Going back
pipe.
here. Gotcha.
So we're gonna have that version to show what that looks like, see what that cost looks like, to be considered. So, the retaining wall projects were submitted, none of those got funded. That was the Maple Street, Warner, and the wall we just talked about, the other culvert. But I do think there is going to be some opportunities there to apply for other funding for those in the future. So tonight you did pass a resolution for the PRP plan. That was $425,000. You have 4 storm scepters that are spec on your MS4 program. They're a total of about $80,000, $90,000 somewhere in there. The other part of that's for a street sweeper. You have a street sweeper, but for your MS4 program, one of the items you had was a street slash vacuum. They're very expensive. They're $300 plus or minus $1,000. Your program is you're going to sweep 26 times a year each street in the borough. Is what was included with last year's 2018 submittal. And you have to clean out your catch basin, so that piece of equipment would do both. So that's part of that grant. At some point, we want to look and see if there's other grants out there for that same piece. If you don't get funded with this, because you may only get partial funding, so we want to keep our eye out for a grant that can buy a piece of equipment for the public works street sweeping. It's a special kind. It's not just an engine that goes around sweeping. It has to have a vacuum on it, and you have to get a certain amount of particulate that it takes up. So,
Does that mean we wouldn't have to use the cost anymore?
Yeah, that's a fact.
Or is that just different?
yeah, that's the vacuum. Yeah, that's the system. So, the other thing with the MS4 program, whenever you clean out the catch basins moving forward, we have to weigh that material. So we're going to work over the winter here with the protocol on how to do that, because you only get credit for catch basin cleaning if it's weight. That's in the permit condition. So that's a little onerous. We're going to work where you don't have to do some of the items that's in there, but we'll get you through this permit cycle, and then the next one we'll do some other suggestions. So CDBG. The restroom project, they're down to the doors and a little bit of lighting. I think they got the lighting done. And the backflow preventers, they did start. They got 5 completed. Next month, they should have a request from them. We have some pictures of what they have done completed. We'll also have pictures of the restroom project. It does need painting in the spring with Public Works. So when we have our meeting with Public Works, we should talk about sequencing that so that when it opens in the spring, it's we do need some good weather so that they can finish up the painting. So that's all I have. Any questions?
I have
That's it.
All right. Kevin, the contract there, in case you, Mr. Chairman, have you signed the change of order yet? You have received the signature from them?
I don't think he sent it back yet. I sent it from 3-4 weeks ago. He has agreed to it though. They knew whenever we were sending it.
So the signature would be no problem with that.
Yeah, the paperwork's been a little slow for all the contractors as well. But
Thank you.
trying to get done. We'll have it for next month.
Thank you.
Fire Chief Ray.
Thank you, Council President. The month of November was not as busy as the rest of the months of the year, fortunately. We finished the month with 33 working incidents, 2 of which were structure fires. So we've been averaging about 50 to 57 calls per month. So as you can see, that number is significantly down, which we're grateful. Of the 1,417 training hours, we have several folks that are in the Firefighter Essentials program. What that is, it's the initial part of the certification to become an interior firefighter, and from that you go on to your Pro Board Firefighter 1. Our goal for 2020 is to have 100% of our members complete the Pro Board Firefighter 1 training by the month of April. That class and testing is set up already. We are also looking to add, as we all know, Bridgeville floods, unfortunately, frequently. We're looking to send 12 to 15 members, along with other call departments within the Charter West, to swiftwater rescue training. So we're pretty excited about that. And last but not least, the Santa detail. After Bunny the Elf is complete, we're going to start the detail about 1 o'clock. So,
Thanks, Ray.
thank you.
Pam's not here. Mary's not here. Anybody? No. Okay, Mary's not here. Ray? To the library?
Our year-end flyer went out to everyone who got this flyer in the mail. That was for year-end donation this past week. Last week I attended a meeting with Pam Iovino. She invited all the libraries within her district to a roundtable discussion, just to talk about the various libraries. I attended that, representing the Bridgeville Library. It was a nice discussion, got to meet the personnel from the other libraries, and Pam said she would do whatever she could for the libraries within her district. So,
She posted something on Facebook today about it.
yes, I saw that. Fall, what the mayor said, we do have the Festival of Trees going on in conjunction with the Friends of the Library, runs now through the 14th. 14th, we have Santa coming, and that'll way the festivities. Friday night, I just gave away some flyers. We're having a wine and chocolate event there at the library. We're having My Sweets chocolate shop and a PK Winery at McDonald's. There's a little fundraiser for us for Friday night. See how that goes. That's our first attempt at doing something like that. That's Friday the 13th. So, just to reinforce what the mayor said, go out there, look at the trees, pick out your tree, vote off for your favorite tree. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Nobody from the Parking Authority, has anything for planning?
No, I have not.
Manager Collins.
I provided my written report and there's any questions or comments. Also, I'd like to say it's been a pleasure working with you. And I want to wish everybody Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Where are we with the county hall?
I sent all the communications to Tom's office. They're going through it now. We talked about what the letter would be.
Yeah, we're done. We're also sent out a letter to go in a couple of days.
Is that placing them on notice of
Old business. New business?
I just wish you the best of luck. Thanks for working so hard for the borough.
You know, second that too. I appreciate your willingness to service again.
Before we adjourn, I just want to say it's been a pleasure and honor to work with all you. You guys make this job really easy. I consider you guys my friends, and I enjoy spending time with you guys and hanging out. To serve Bridgeville, it's a true honor. Nick, I wish you all the luck. If you need anything, I'm more than happy to. You know where to find me. I'm too far.
We're sitting where he's sitting.
Yeah. Thank you very much, everybody. It's been a pleasure.
Mike, you're not going anywhere.
And I will. Your motion?
I make a motion.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye. Opposed?